Rams, now they get the Niners next. We've got Jack and Ryan to talk about it. So Lamar Jackson and that offense leads the NFL in points per game, 35 per. Niners have allowed the fewest yards per game in the NFL. So you got the irresistible force, you got the immovable object. Who wins here? How do you see this going?
Well, listen, I'm gonna be honest. I don't know who wins. If I did, I'd be in Vegas and I wouldn't be here. I'd be betting on it. But you know how this game has to be approached. If you're the 49ers, you got to try to keep Lamar Jackson in the pocket the same way you did with Aaron Rodgers. But this is such a place as you're supposed to be. And then when you get one-on-one with Lamar Jackson in the open field, getting him on the ground, and so you can look at Robert Saleh, the defensive coordinator of the San Francisco 49ers, and say, what can you do schematically to help us? But in the end, it's going to be, can your athletes be physical enough, be athletic enough, and understand angles enough to get number 8 on the ground?
Can they tackle him?
And that's been difficult.
Can they get him down? They're going to be in the vicinity. They're going to be, I mean, this is a team that's used to dominating. They hold Aaron Rodgers to 104 yards passing, right? So they've been very dominant throughout the...
On the other side of the ball, you got Jimmy Garoppolo. Niners offense looking better week in, week out. What do you think the Ravens D, how do they hold up against the Niners?
I think the Ravens D can hold up well because of what they are on the back end now. They got Marcus Peters at the trade deadline, and I think this was a very underrated trade on George Kittle. That's the same exact thing that the Baltimore Ravens are going to have to do. And you look to play man, you hope that you can load the box with 8 and find ways to stop the run because you can match up on the outside because you have the athletes on the back end. You have to make Jimmy Garoppolo beat you. In order to do that, you have to make Kyle Shanahan feel that he can't go run, play action. Baltimore Ravens have the people on the back end to try.
Right now, Kyle Shanahan is doing a tremendous job freeing up Jimmy G. He does his play action pass is unbelievable, creating these huge pockets. He can make it in the highest level contest that he's had thus far.
Can't wait for it. I mean, we've got all the Thanksgiving Day games, but this is maybe the game of the year when the Niners go to Baltimore to take on a surging Ravens team. Jack and Ryan here with us, giving us their thoughts. Meanwhile, as we announced just a few minutes ago, Mike Tomlin's going to go with Delvin Hodges, Duck, against the Browns this week. So Mason Rudolph basically benched in favor of Hodges. We're going to talk with Delian Graziano. What is behind this move? That's coming up later on Coast to Coast.
This guy can do anything he wants to on a basketball court. He's having just one of those matches.
Del Rio and Ryan Clark here to talk about it. Jason Garrett said yesterday he's got his eyes forward, just concentrating on winning this game Thursday, despite the sort of the backdrop of what's going on here where Jerry Jones basically blamed the coaches for that loss in Foxborough. Right. What did you think of that? What's the message there?
Well, David, I would say, first of all, I think Jason is doing what he has to do, okay? He's got an owner that basically just threw the coaching staff under the bus. And that's not helping anybody. It's not helping the Cowboys. I know Jerry cares greatly about the Cowboys. He's added a lot of talent, but he has gone into this season not extending Jason Garrett, okay, so making him kind of prove it. And now, right now, at a critical moment in their season, you know, he's basically throwing them under the bus. To me, Jason's doing what he has to do. He's got to lead the team. He's got to show the team, look, we better get ready for this Buffalo Bills team. And right now, he's answering questions during the week leading up to a short week. He's answering questions about things other than preparing for the Buffalo Bills.
And I think that's coaching in Dallas. That's coaching in Dallas when Jerry Jones is the first one they run to after every game to get his opinion on what happened. And I think that's a reason why Jason Garrett has lasted so long there is because he understands those things and he's able to go about his business and coach his team and focus on winning football games. And that's what you have to be to coach under Jerry Jones. And so right now, he understands that his team is still in first place in the NFC East. They still have an opportunity to go to the playoffs and salvage this year and make this year what many people thought it would be coming into the season. So he can't be focused on the outside noise or even the noise inside the building coming from his owner and his GM. He has to make sure that this team is prepared to play against a very good Bills team on Thursday.
Okay, I'm glad you got to that. They're 8-3. They do present some challenges. Offensively, when you look at the Bills against the Cowboys defense, what do you see?
Well, Josh Allen can be dangerous. You have to look out. I mean, this is a guy that can be mobile. He's not a couple accurate balls recently that make you think maybe he can become a better passer.
I mean, if you watch him, he definitely has the arm talent. That was the one thing they knew about him coming out of college. They loved the fact that he could push the ball down the field. Now, we've seen him be a little bit more accurate recently. And so for this when you're looking at this defensively, you have to stop him from getting outside the pocket, and you got to make sure you keep the top on the defense. But the Dallas Cowboys have to win this game. This game is important for them for the seedings and for the standings, but also just to kind of quiet some of the things that are going on around about this team and say, you know what, we have this going in the right direction. We know what we need to do to be successful down the stretch and win in the playoffs.
Okay, a lot to look forward to there. Meanwhile, we got some news into SportsCenter. Press conference, anticipated rematch with the Browns. Duck Hodges came on against the Bengals and did enough to get the Steelers the win there in Cincinnati. So, guys, when you hear this news, and Mason Rudolph was sort of being groomed to be Ben Roethlisberger's replacement somewhere down the line, and now he's getting yanked. And this guy, Duck Hodges, was basically home in early September. What do you make of this?
Well, interesting that Mike would make the announcement today. But I think, to me, they're doing what they think they need to do.
Why is that interesting?
Well, just curious that he would disclose it. Why not let them prepare for Mason Rudolph? But, look, Mike has a good pulse for this football team, and he feels that Duck gives them the best opportunity to win here, and so he's going to make the call. I've loved the way Mike has led this football team this year.
Listen, Mike T, he ain't about the games, right? He's not about giving the media its show. He's not about, okay, I want them to ask me questions every day so we can play this game, who's starting and who's not. Like, if you watch him, he's about business. He's straight to the point, and this was a business move. This was a move that said, I believe that Duck Hodges gives us the best opportunity to win this football game, and I believe he's correct.
That's an indictment of Mason Rudolph, right?
Well, but if you go back to the game, the reason we didn't get an opportunity to talk about how awful Mason Rudolph was Thursday night against the Cleveland Browns is because the incident between him and Myles Garrett. And if you really want to get to what started the issue or what started the incident, it was his frustration with the night he'd had, getting hit late in the game, and he felt like he had to take it out in a certain way. And so when you look at Mason Rudolph and the way he's been trending as the starting quarterback, he's gotten worse throughout the season. We watched Duck Hodges go into Los Angeles and win the game, come into relief against the Cincinnati Bengals. He gives this team its best opportunity. And Sheldon Richardson said it. They asked him, did he want to see Mason Rudolph? And people thought it was to get revenge because of what happened. He said, no. Did you see him play last game? And this was the right move for this team. This team has fought its way to be in the playoff hunt. Give this guy a chance to help you win.
Yep.
Duck Hodges out of Samford, not Stanford, Samford, got his nickname because he was a teenager and won duck calling contests.
That's right.
I can't make this stuff up. So Duck Hodges is going to get the ball against the Browns coming up. Carrie?
Still